All right, so Gotham. 1 week after, the whole flood debacle, Carmine Falcone's gone, and everybody's kind of just like, "Roar," waiting, watching to see what happens next.
Yeah, you said it. It's like the whole city's holding its breath.
Exactly. And into that power vacuum steps. Well, waddles, I guess. Oswald Cobblepot.
You mean Oz?
Yeah, Oz. The penguin. And the guy finds Alberto Falcone's body, and instead of, doing the right thing,
Right.
he sees a way to level up.
Well, hiding the body, it's more than just saving his own skin. I mean, it's a power move, right? He's playing chess while everyone else is still setting up the board.
And the thing is, he then takes Alberto's plan, his whole idea, and tries to sell it right back to the Falcones.
Bold move, right?
Talk about audacity. It's like stealing the recipe and then selling it back to the chef.
But it also shows you he's been paying attention. He knows this world inside and out. He learned from the best, or, well, I guess the worst, depending on how you look at it.
Yeah, he was Carmine's right-hand man for years. But he's not the only one making moves, is he? You've got the Maronis, always lurking in the shadows.
Always hungry for a bigger slice of the pie.
And then there's Sophia.
Ah, Sophia Falcone. Just out of Arkham, she's a whole other kind of wild card.
She's got this look in her eyes, like she sees right through Oz's little act.
Remember that scene in the club, the way she just stares at him, sizing him up?
It's like she's trying to decide if he's a player or just a pawn in her game.
And Oz is over there trying to play three-dimensional chess when he should maybe stick to checkers.
But you can't say the guy isn't ambitious. He's playing the Falcones against the Maronis, trying to orchestrate this whole, mobster tango.
Mobster tango, I like that.
But even with all that, there are these moments where Oz, he kind of seems vulnerable, like when he visits his mother.
Ah, yes, Francis. Now there's a piece of work you never quite know what she's going to say or do.
She's like this weird mix of, overprotective and totally ice cold.
She reminds me of a spider plant, Beautiful on the surface, but with those creepy tendrils always reaching, searching for a place to take root.
And Oz is definitely caught in her web. He craves her approval, but she just keeps pushing him, encouraging this, darker side of him.
That scene where she calls him a bull, urging him to embrace that primal instinct. It's chilling.
Yeah, she's definitely playing some long game with him, and I'm not sure even Oz knows all the rules.
And speaking of getting played, let's talk about poor Victor. Talk about a pawn in the wrong game.
That kid, he just wants a better life, a way out.
And Oz, he sees an opportunity to exploit that.
Classic abuser tactic, right? Dangle a little hope, offer a way up, and then use that loyalty to your advantage.
It's what makes this world so dangerous. It doesn't reward kindness or empathy. It preys on them.
And Oz, he's learning that the hard way. He might think he's calling the shots, but he's getting played too.
Yeah.
Especially by Sophia.
Oh, she's got his number. She's 10 steps ahead playing chess while he's stuck in a game of checkers.
So we've got Oz making his moves, trying to solidify his power base. But then he goes and makes a bold move. He decides to pay a visit to Sal Maroni.
Who, let's not forget, is currently enjoying the hospitality of Blackgate Penitentiary.
Right, not exactly a social call. He goes to see Sal with a peace offering of sorts.
A peace offering.
Well, more like a power play disguised as a peace offering. He brings Sal back his ring.
You mean the one Carmine took from him? That ring?
That's the one. The one Carmine kept as a trophy, a reminder of his dominance over Sal.
Talk about adding insult to injury.
Exactly. So Oz, he brings this ring back to Sal, plays on his ego, his desire for revenge.
He's taking a page out of Carmine's playbook.
Oh, absolutely. He's using the same tactics, the same manipulation to try and get what he wants. But the question is, will it work?
Sal's no fool. He's been around the block a time or two. He's seen his fair share of betrayals.
And in Gotham, betrayal is practically a love language.
It's practically written into the city charter.
Yeah, and betrayal. Oh, there's plenty to go around, especially when it comes to Oz and Sophia. Talk about a power struggle.
Oh, they're both playing a deep game. But you can tell neither of them trusts the other as far as they could throw them.
That scene at the club?
Yeah.
Electrifying. The way Sophia just casually mentions the car.
The plum-colored car.
It was like Chekhov's again. You knew it was going to come back.
Sophia, she's got this way of just toying with him, Dropping these little hints, making Oz sweat.
And he totally falls for it. He loses his cool, lashes out.
Not exactly the mark of a mastermind, is it?
No, not really. It's like she wanted him to break. Like she was testing him.
Maybe that's the difference between them. Sophia, she's controlled. She sees violence as a last resort, not a go-to move.
Which makes me think about Oz's mother again. Maybe that's what she's trying to teach him. That true power isn't about brute force. It's about strategy, about knowing when to hold back and when to strike.
Frances is definitely playing some long game here. She's got a plan for Oz, even if he doesn't see it yet.
So, while Oz is busy thinking he's outsmarting everyone, he might actually be a pawn in a much bigger game.
And Sophia, she's playing for keeps.
Finding that kid who saw what happened to Alberto, that's cold.
Cold but smart. She's using everything she has to take Oz down.
That final phone call, luring him to the Iceberg Lounge, she knew exactly what she was doing.
She's not just playing a hunch. Sophia's got proof. She's got leverage, and she knows how to use it.
And Oz, he walks right into her trap. He's so blinded by his own ambition, he can't see what's right in front of him.
And then, boom, Alberto's body shows up. Talk about an entrance.
The look on Oz's face, it's priceless. He thought he had it all figured out, and then wham, reality check.
The ultimate power move. Sophia played him like a fiddle.
But let's not forget about Sal Maroni. He's still out there, waiting in the wings.
Oh yeah, Sal. He's not just gonna sit back and watch this all unfold. He wants his piece of the pie.
And Oz promised him a pretty big slice, didn't he? A chance to take down the Falcones, get revenge.
Chuck, can Sal really trust Oz? That's the million-dollar question.
I wouldn't bet on it. Sal's been around the block too many times. He knows better than to trust anyone completely in this town.
Exactly. He's got to be thinking, what's Oz's angle? What's he really after?
So you got Oz trying to climb his way to the top, but tripping over his own ambition.
And Sophia playing the game with the finesse of a grandmaster, always a few steps ahead.
And then there's Sal, the wild card, waiting for his chance to make his move.
This whole thing is like a pressure cooker just waiting to explode. And when it does, well, let's just say it's not going to be pretty.
It's a real mess, isn't it? And you got to wonder, is Oz really calling the shots? Or is he just following his mama's marching orders?
It's that age-old question, nature versus nurture, right? But there's a shift in Oz. After he sees Alberto's body, something changes.
Yeah, I noticed that too. Like the weight of it all finally hit him.
Maybe. But remember what he says to Victor. Drops are yesterday's game. He's not backing down. He's doubling down.
You're talking about that new drug, right? The one he keeps mentioning.
Seems like he's putting all his eggs in one basket.
Which, let's be honest, is a pretty risky move in a town like Gotham.
Risk is the name of the game, my friend. But that's what makes it interesting, right?
I guess so. But it makes you wonder, what's the cost of all this ambition? What's he willing to sacrifice?
We've seen glimpses of it, haven't we? That ruthlessness, that capacity for violence. It's all there, bubbling under the surface.
So where does that leave us? What's the takeaway from all this?
Oz is a survivor. He's learned from the best, or maybe the worst, how to navigate this world. But the death of Falcone, it's created a void. And nature abhors a vacuum, meaning someone's going to fill that void, and it just might be Oswald Cobblepot.
Even with Sophia gunning for him.
Especially with Sophia gunning for him. Don't forget about Sal Maroni either. He's got his own plans, his own scores to settle.
It's like a powder keg down there, just waiting for a spark.
And when it blows, well, I don't think anyone's going to come out of this unscathed.
So much for peace in Gotham.
Peace was never an option.
That's Gotham for you. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive into the murky depths of Gotham's underbelly. It's going to be a wild ride, folks. Buckle up.